On today's episode, we're talking about finding yourself, the truth about passive income, toxic work cultures, and turning down millions in VC funding. Money isn't the point. A business should be about lifestyle, impact, and meaning. And you can still earn a ridiculous amount of money without sacrificing any of that. But you need to set your priorities. And that, to me, is what a lifestyle business is all about. Today's episode is brought to you by Fizzle, the company I co-founded to help entrepreneurs just like you navigate the sometimes stormy waters of building a business. Fizzle features the step-by-step roadmap for independent entrepreneurs and the most active and supportive community of lifestyle business builders on the web. Get access to the roadmap, weekly coaching, and hundreds of hours of video training, all included as part of your free trial. That's right, just visit fizzle.co/lifestyle to get a very special 5-week free trial. That's fizzle.co/lifestyle. Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Lifestyle Business Weekly, the show and weekly email for people interested in lifestyle business and independent entrepreneurship. I'm Corbett Barr, and here's how this is going to work. Every week, I send out a list of useful links for folks who are building lifestyle businesses. These are things that I find interesting, topics that you should know about, and the email contains a bunch of stuff. But within that, there are several really hot topics that I'd like to spend a little bit more time talking about. So this video series will cover those 3 to 5 topics in a quick little package where we'll talk about some of the juicier stuff that you should be thinking about in building your own lifestyle business. So to kick it off today, let's first start by talking about an article I wrote on finding yourself versus creating yourself. There's this really great quote by George Bernard Shaw that says something to the effect of, life isn't about finding yourself, it's about creating yourself. And I found this to be a really great framework to work with. I think a lot of people have this feeling like there's going to be some sort of magic event that happens where suddenly it's just bestowed on you what you should be doing with your life, as if we each have one unique purpose or passion or something that we were placed on this earth to do. But it's ridiculous to think that. There are dozens or hundreds of things that you could be good at, and finding yourself is a misnomer. I think instead, you should think about finding yourself as this process. There is searching involved, yes, of course. You should be looking for what you might be interested in, and you should be putting yourself in different situations that might awaken some things inside of you that you didn't necessarily know you really cared about. But at the same time, finding yourself is this result, this combination of searching and, at the same time, hard work. And choosing something to pursue for a while, to pursue long enough to figure out if you do actually love it and if you are actually good at it. So think a little less eat, pray, love, and a little more, let's find a bunch of different things that might be interesting to me and systematically start diving into the ones that I think are most likely to be the thing that I'm going to be truly passionate about. Now let's talk about the truth about passive income. There was a video that Gary Vaynerchuk posted on YouTube. He actually linked to it in Instagram. It's just a quick little 3-minute video or so. And it's true Gary Vaynerchuk rant style, where he's basically railing against this whole idea that you can, I think he said, sit on the beach in Jamaica and smoke weed and make a bunch of money, something like that. And he thinks it's bullshit. And I tend to agree. For the most part, it is bullshit. There aren't really ways that you can spend 5 hours a week and build some massive business that's some sort of automatic ATM cash generator. It just doesn't work that way. People who do create passive income spend a lot of time getting to that point. I think if you wrote, a hit novel, for example, it's conceivable that you could get royalties from that for a very long time. And in a way, that is passive income. But in order to get to that point, you had to create the hit novel to begin with. And that's the part that takes a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of dedication. And the problem with passive income is that most people who want to pursue that don't care about anything other than the money itself. And the money itself should be just a byproduct of you trying to solve a problem for a group of people, you caring about a particular topic, and you becoming an expert at something who really cares about it. That's how you build something of value. If you want to turn that thing that you create of value into more passive style income later, you can do that. But what happens to most people is that they get so interested, they get so drawn to solving problems that becomes the thing that you crave, not the money. You end up craving just the interaction with people and helping people. So there are a lot of other reasons to create a business. I've said before, I think a lifestyle business is really about the lifestyle it provides for its owners and employees. It's about the impact, it's about the meaning, it's about the fun that you can have in building a business. And sure, you can make a boatload of money at the same time, but that all comes as a side effect, and you don't have to sacrifice lifestyle and all this stuff. Anyway, passive income is a misnomer. Don't pursue it for monetary reasons only. If you're going to pursue passive income, do it because you want to dedicate your life for a period of years to building something of true value, and then later you can spend some time putting that thing on the back burner while you go travel the world for a year or whatever it might be. My business certainly isn't passive now. I spend plenty of hours every week working, but at the same time, if I want to take a period of weeks off, or if I want to take a month or two off to go travel, I can do that, and it becomes more passive. It's not entirely passive, but partly that's because I care about it and I don't want to let it wither while I'm traveling. So, passive income? Not exactly. Up next, I wanted to mention something about toxic work cultures in the wake of all of this that's come out about Amazon. I don't know if you guys saw, but in the New York Times, there was a big investigation. They interviewed a bunch of people from Amazon, and it came out that Amazon is a pretty brutal place to work. It wasn't any surprise to most people if you've known anybody who had worked at Amazon, and we're talking about not the warehouse kind of people, but the people that work at headquarters. It hasn't really been a surprise to most of us because we've heard from people who work there that it's a pretty brutal place to work. But, it's easy to point fingers at Amazon and other big companies and just corporate culture in general and say, yeah, well, corporate culture sucks. And, they use you and abuse you, and they just try to get the best out of you, and they don't really care about you. And in many cases, that's true. And in fact, that's why I left the corporate world so many years ago, because I was tired of being abused and expected to work 60 or 70 hours and to travel every week. It was a pain in the ass, and I didn't think it was worth it. And now it turns out that I love what I do. I have far more control over my schedule. I make more money. I have more connections, and I have more stability in what I do than when I was in the corporate world. So I think it is dumb to trade the best years of your life to a company that doesn't care about you. Not to say that all big companies are like that, but plenty of them are. However, here's the stickler. I think that it's just as easy to point your finger at big companies and talk about how shitty they are, while at the same time, when you're building a little one-person company, to create a fairly toxic culture in a company of one at the same time. So I want you guys to think about the culture that you're building, even if you're only one person right now in your business. What's it like to work with you? What are your expectations for yourself? How realistic are you being about the time that you're putting in and about your ability to continually crank out 60 or 70-hour weeks for months on end? Because the research shows that beyond 40 or 50 hours, you have diminishing returns to the point where at some point, your returns on the time that you're putting in every week become negative. You're actually doing more harm than you are good by spending more and more time working. You need to take time off to recharge and to put gas in the tank. And if you're not doing that, your company might be paying the price. You're also setting the stage when you're a company of one for what could happen when you start adding people. And the expectations that you have for yourself could easily transfer to other people, and you might start building this toxic culture before you know it, even with just a tiny company of 1 or 2 or 3. So be realistic, work hard, but not too hard, hustle, but be smart about how you're hustling, and realize that sometimes less is more. Sometimes if you give yourself a few days off over the weekend to go and have fun, you come back refreshed and more creative than you would be if you plowed through the entire weekend and you get to Monday and you just feel like your energy is sapped and you don't have enough stamina to get through the whole week. And finally, last up this week, I want to talk a little bit about a situation that happened to a company that a friend of mine ran recently. You may have heard about a company called Zirtual, run by Maren Kate. Zirtual was, by all accounts, a fairly big success. They had raised millions of dollars in funding. I believe they had close to 400 virtual assistants who were full-time employees that they created a service where you could pay a monthly fee to get so many hours of these virtual assistants' time, and they would do all kinds of tasks for you around, managing your social media, booking reservations, and planning things for you. And it was a good service. I have other friends who are entrepreneurs who use this service, and they seem to really like it. Unfortunately, at the last minute, it seems, Zirtual closed down very abruptly. There was a Monday morning a couple of weeks back where Maren sent an email to all of your clients and employees and basically said that as of today, Zirtual no longer exists. And it was a really sad situation. And it seemed as though it was fairly mismanaged just because there was no warning for any of the clients or employees. So another friend in the blogosphere and fellow entrepreneur, Laura Roeder, wrote a really great post on Medium about how the Zirtual situation made her really glad that she had turned down millions in funding. And this one really hit home for me because I've been in both situations. I raised VC money for a business that I built from 2005 to 2008. And I was faced with having to shut that business down. Much like Zirtual was, we had a little bit more advance warning and we were able to tell people ahead of time so they weren't left in the lurch. But, these things do happen somewhat abruptly because at the last minute, you're counting on some funding to come through to keep your business afloat. But this points out something really interesting about VC-funded businesses, and that is that once you take on funding, you have all of these expectations happening from all sides, from your board of directors, from your investors, and they are expecting you to be spending all of the money that you raise to try to grow the business as fast as you possibly can. And the expectation is that you'll put yourself in a growth position where raising more money down the line is just part of the game. That's something that you have to do. You're not trying to get to profitability, you're trying to grow fast. And that means that your burn rate is greater than your expenses, and eventually you're going to run out of money and you have to raise money again. That's just part of the VC game. And when you bootstrap a company, it's a lot different because the name of the game in bootstrapping is to get to profitability as fast as you can, because typically the money that is funding the company initially is coming out of the founder's pockets. So in Laura Roeder's case, she built a business called Edgar, which is a social media tool, and she saved up enough money from her consulting business to be able to fund that out of pocket. She was really glad to have turned down millions in VC funding because now she has control and the expectations are different. She just has her employees and customers to look after instead of worrying about all of these other interests. So the pressure is different. And also, when your business gets to profitability, you get to decide if you're going to plow those profits back into the business and you're going to try to grow fast, or if you don't want to grow so fast, you can keep some of those profits for yourself and it can become a great little cash run business, and you can try to have all the impact and make all the meaning that you want while preserving your lifestyle and while earning a pretty decent paycheck. I know a lot of people who run bootstrap businesses that earn a lot more than you would if you were the CEO of a VC-backed company, because in those situations, you have the board of directors to live up to, and they don't expect you to put all of the profits back into your pocket. You just take a salary like everybody else. So there are a lot of great reasons to run a lifestyle business. I'm not saying you shouldn't look for VC funding. if you're young and you feel like swinging for the fences once, go for it. That's what I did. And, I struck out, but I learned a lot along the way. And I also learned that I much prefer the style of business that you get to build with a bootstrap business. In this case, VCs have approached us with Fizzle, and we've had some decent conversations with them, and we've had a lot of internal conversations about it. And we just realized that money wouldn't really change anything for us. What happens? You raise a bunch of money and then what? Well, we keep doing what we're doing. Maybe we could do it faster, but I don't know that we necessarily want to do it that much faster. We're having fun doing this and trying to build something that really means a lot to us and has a lot of impact on our customers. And, spending a bunch more money on marketing wouldn't necessarily help us do that. So it's not that we would never raise money, but at this point, that's our thought process. And you should read that article by Laura and all of the other articles that I've mentioned. If you sign up for the newsletter, just go to corbettbar.com. You'll see I have Lifestyle Business Weekly, a big box there that you can sign up to get one weekly email from me with useful links for people who are interested in lifestyle business and independent entrepreneurship. And I think it's really good. I think it's a good motivator for you every week and some pointers on things that you should be thinking about. And then, like I said, every week I will be doing a little companion to that email, which right now I'm just calling Lifestyle Business Weekly. This is the show, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, let me know. Email me anytime, corbett@fizzle.co, or leave a comment on wherever you find this video. If it's on YouTube or somewhere else, leave me a comment and let me know. You can also email me questions, and I'll be happy to take those mixed in with the links and articles that we're talking about. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being part of the first episode. I hope you had fun. I'll talk to you soon. Get all of today's links and many more articles and resources for lifestyle business builders just like you in one convenient, curated weekly email. Head over to lifestylebusinessweekly.com and sign up for free. I'll send you one email a week, including a link to the latest episode of this show, new blog posts from me, and resources that will help you make more progress towards building a business that matters. That's lifestylebusinessweekly.com.